A quick agenda of what we'll be chatting about today. If some of you aren't familiar with Digital Main Street, I'd like to do a brief introduction to us as an organization, but then more importantly, we'll dive into why it's so important to get online and the ways that we're supporting small businesses through the ShopHERE program. We'll talk about some examples of businesses that are eligible for the program, the experience of actually participating in the program, and then I'm most excited to share some examples of graduates that we've had through the program, and hopefully the examples of their new stores are fairly inspiring to those who may be interested in participating. So Digital Main Street is a nonprofit organization that helps Main Street businesses achieve digital transformation. The program is built around an online learning platform, structured training programs, and then some unique programs, especially ShopHERE, which is the one that we'll spend the most time talking about today. If you're curious to see the other programs that are offered at Digital Main Street, you can visit our website. I will mention, though, since we were founded by the Toronto Association of Business Improvement Areas, and are supported primarily through the province of Ontario, as well as the government of Canada and some other partners. Some of the other programs that are not ShopHERE are primarily structured to support businesses in Ontario at this time. But with that said, we're here today and proud to have partnered with the Halifax Partnership to extend the ShopHERE program to businesses like yourselves. So why is it so important to get online? We have some stats to share today from our friends over at Google, who are seeing some massive trends in online traffic and consumer behavior. The first is that searches for curbside pickup and home delivery have grown by 70%. So I'm not sure that'll come as too much of a surprise, as we're all spending a bit more time at home, and whether for safety reasons or convenience reasons, we're having packages or even food, especially delivered right to our doors. 51% of surveyed global shoppers are using Google to discover new brands. So whether you're shopping online for products and services that you're familiar with, Google's a massive leading search engine platform. So it's also not too much of a surprise that while we're searching for things that we know about, we're also discovering other brands that are either competing to appear in those search results or have a Google My Business profile listed next to the brand that we were searching for. 34% of US shoppers indicated that they would make their holiday purchases before Thanksgiving. So keeping in mind that US Thanksgiving is next weekend, I believe, and that's still about a month out from the holidays that we're actually shopping for. That's a huge uptick in online traffic that would be great to take advantage of. With that said, it's never too late to get online, as we know that these trends will continue to increase. And lastly, we've learned that 90% of surveyed global shoppers who visited a store in the last 90 days, in the last week, said that they searched for it first online. So sort of circling back to how we understand that more brands are being discovered on Google through those search results, people are also looking up the businesses that they are going to visit to see if maybe the products that they're going to pick up is in inventory at the location that they're going to, or perhaps they're just checking to see the hours of operation to make sure that when they go to visit, the store will be open. So lots of great trends to indicate that now is a more important than ever time to get online. So with that, I'd like to introduce you to how we are helping small businesses achieve that transition of getting online and selling their products or services through the ShopHERE program. So as Jason mentioned, the ShopHERE program is creating online stores for small businesses and artists at no cost via Shopify or Square. So Shopify and Square are two leading e-commerce platforms that are both partners of our program, and both have great functionalities and user interfaces specifically for small businesses to learn and set them up for success in managing an online store. Through the ShopHERE program, in addition to building that online store, we're also providing e-commerce experts that are dedicated resources for these small businesses and training to ensure that the participants of the program are set up for long-term success. They know that they will be able to sustain traffic to their new online store, that they'll be able to manage their inventory and shipping and things like that upon graduation. So we'll dive into the program in a little bit more detail on this next slide. Typically, from the day you sign up for the program to the day we can get your store live takes anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks. We review applications a few times a day, so you will hear back as to the status of your application fairly quickly. But our target for getting a new online store live usually takes right in the middle there, around 4 weeks. And the range really just reflects the e-commerce readiness of the businesses that we see apply to the program. Some already have an existing website, and so it's more of a revamp, or we're just transitioning inventory over to a new one. And some have never been online before, which is honestly more the case than not, and that's totally fine as well. We're here to help. It might just take a little bit longer. Once you are approved for the program, we will connect you with a dedicated e-commerce coordinator. That one-to-one relationship is, I think, a really important value that we offer through the program, because you're able to build a relationship with this coordinator throughout the duration of your project. They'll get to understand you and your business and the goals that you have for going online, which will ultimately just make for a really successful outcome. The first step in engaging with your e-commerce coordinator will be to set up a call and understand what those goals are of your business for going online. So are you looking to sell a product? Are you looking to sell a service? Who are your customers, and how do we expect that they may spend time online, so we can make sure that the way we build your online store will make sense for them and hopefully drive the most results. In deciding how we're going to build the online store, the conversation will center largely around understanding the functionality that your new online store will need to have, and therefore guiding the conversation as to which platform selected between Square and Shopify. Once the project scope has been defined and we've identified the best platform for your business's online store, we'll get to work right away on building the initial store for you. And that's really important to highlight as well, because for a lot of the businesses we support, it's their first time going online. They may not be web developers or super tech savvy, and so that's what we're here to support with. We help you overcome that initial barrier of actually getting the store created, and we can make it happen fairly quickly. Then, as we're building your online store, we can also support with creating additional assets that we may need to sort of pull it together. So if you haven't been online before, you might be wondering, how do I take product images that will look really nice online? Or should I source some stock photography to sort of fill in the blanks on the website? How do I create a logo or get a digital version of mine created for the new online store? So we have lots of free tools that we can point you in the direction of, and guidance on how to take awesome product shots from a device as simple as your smartphone. Then the e-commerce coordinator will also make sure that the business is trained on how to manage their online store moving forward. So I mentioned the last piece of the program is really just on setting the business up for continued success. And so we have a post-launch marketing phase where once your store goes live, we'll talk about some strategies to get traffic to your new online store. That might be through social media marketing, it might be through email marketing, it could be through setting up a Google My Business profile. We have lots of great tips depending on how we think we can best reach and engage your audience. It'll also be important to help with integrating the online store with the physical store in some cases, and that might mean connecting the POS system so that everything is tracked in sync. You also may not have shipped products out either locally or across the country before. So with online orders, that's something to consider as well, and we can support with finding the best shipping partner to help you with that. So in summary, I did just cover quite a few details of the program, so I want to highlight what the e-commerce coordinator is really there to support you with. It would be to help you discover first which platform is right for your business. Again, that comes back to the goals that you have of building your online store and the functionality and feature marketing initiatives that you plan to grow your business with down the road. Then we will build the online store and train the business along the way on how to manage it, update inventory, write product descriptions, maybe add a blog page, write an About Us section, things like that. We'll also work with the participant to get the store live. So right now, this entire program experience is being offered virtually. So we'd be connecting with you over Zoom calls like the one we're on now to make sure that we're moving things along at a good pace, we're building that relationship, and we can share our screen so you can see how your online store is coming along, and of course, add input along the way. And then once the store goes live, we will support with marketing the store post-launch. So getting that traffic will be the next sort of hurdle to overcome once the store goes live. So we have lots of great benefits available to the participants of the program to support with that. I'll give you a couple examples. We have one-on-one calls available with a member of the Google team, which is pretty exciting. You can call them up and they're dedicated to supporting our ShopHERE participants with setting up their first Google ad campaigns. We also have Google and Facebook advertising credits available to really kickstart the traffic to your new online store. And we also have free .ca domains available as well. It's a free domain for a year. If you don't already have one, that's another great benefit that can be accessed through the program. Okay, so let's look at some examples of eligible businesses for the ShopHERE program. And I'm excited today to be sharing some examples that we have of businesses that are actually within the Halifax partnership that we've supported. So the first one is Sue Wester Gift and Restaurant Company, which is a 180-seat restaurant offering traditional maritime and seafood dishes. So Restaurants is a great example of a business that could transition online and set up either curbside pickup or delivery. And this example is actually not just a restaurant. They also have a 2-level gift shop, and they're selling one of Maritime's largest selections of giftware. Pretty diverse. The next example is, I hope I pronounced this correctly, but it's Remote-Lo, which is a manufacturing company offering high value yet affordable remote monitoring solutions for critical infrastructure. So pretty cool. Their customers will be able to go online and shop those products. The next example is Doodle Lovely, which is a guide to soul care through a collection of creative tools. They offer a variety of journals, notepads, calendars, bags, pillows, and much more. And one thing I'll just add to that is that we do support a lot of sort of craft-based stores or businesses with a lot of inventory. And so part of the support we can provide is sort of organizing those product collections into a way that makes it really easy for your customers to shop that wide range of products that you sell on your online store. The next example is Mama Bear's Boutique, which is an eco-friendly, zero-waste shop for families. They're offering personal care, housewares, gifts, cleaners, and vegan and fragrance options as well. So again, a really wide variety of products that we'd be excited to build into their online store. Penelope's Boutique, they're selling fine recycled fashion, vintage chic with a modern flair for women who appreciate quality fashion. I think having any sort of retail fashion related store transition online seems like a really natural fit. We can showcase all the different product collections, lots of product shots and style different ways. And if you're offering clothing in different, color variations or sizing variations, that could maybe seem conceptually tricky to figure out online. So again, that's something that we can support with as we train you on how to build out your online store. The next example is Bhavna Yoga Lifestyle Store, and they're offering relaxing scents, yoga books, candles, essential oils, etc. And for this yoga lifestyle store, I think again having that sort of online presence just to boost the unique products that they're selling is really exciting. Hen and Goose Pet Supply is selling handmade accessories for fashionable dogs and cats. By the way, pet content does amazing on social media, so I'm excited to see what sort of marketing they start up with. Toy Maker of Lunenburg is offering handmade wooden toys for all ages. Lily Pond Vintage Furniture and Home Decor is the last example here, and they're selling furniture wax in several colors, and they're using a special paint that's actually non-toxic and has been used for thousands of years. So having that sort of unique twist on the products that they're selling is a story that we can make come to life on their new online store. So again, these are all businesses that we're supporting specifically through the Halifax partnership and the ShopHERE program. So I've mentioned a lot of different levels and sort of parts of the ShopHERE program that are offered for free. And so to summarize, the program is completely free, and that includes the online store construction and the marketing support that I've touched on. What we do need to take into consideration is that in managing an online store, there could be some costs involved with maintaining it. So I want to talk a little bit more about that. Building the store, again, is free, and between the two different platforms that we're currently providing support on, there are different plan options that will allow you to continue maintaining your store. So I'll speak to one platform at a time. The first is the Shopify platform, where we're able to offer an exclusive 90-day free trial of the Shopify platform. We can upload unlimited products, unlimited pages and collections, the works. That 3-month window really is a great amount of time to get your store set up, ideally in those first 4 weeks, and then still have 2 months to start trying out some marketing campaigns and get traffic to your new online store, hopefully realizing some sales within that window as well. If you choose to continue with your Shopify store, you will have to select a paid plan. The basic plan that most of our graduates tend to choose that supports the way we've set it up is around $40 Canadian a month. And I'll just mention on that, there is no obligation, having come through the ShopHERE program, to commit to a plan. We hope you do. We hope that you love your online store and you're seeing success and you're able to commit to maintaining it. But I just want to mention that. The other e-commerce platform, Square, doesn't have a free trial model, but they actually have a free base plan to start with, and then a paid tier plan following. So the difference between the free and the paid plans really comes down to functionality. So we'll just really actually between both platforms, making the selection, regardless of being cost conscious, will really come down to having a conversation with your e-commerce coordinator. It will relate back to your goals and understanding how you'd like to build out this online store and grow your business. Maybe it will depend on what industry you're in. And so we'll take all those things into consideration, walk you through the different paid plan or free plan options and functionality between both platforms, and help you make a decision from there, because we realize that could be a lot to sort of digest if you're not as familiar with the platforms. So not to worry there, that's where we're here to help for sure. Okay, and then I'd like to share some other ShopHERE success stories and actually highlight with some screenshots the online stores that we've built for ShopHERE graduates and some of the testimonials that they've shared with us having completed the program. The first example is Little Teeth & Co., which was a retail pet store based in St. Catharines, Ontario, that was forced to close their doors back in the beginning of the spring due to COVID-19. And Little Teeth & Co., being a retail, like a Main Street business, they did have a basic website set up, but their plan was always to sort of come back to it when they had time as part of their 5-year plan. Of course, when they had to close their doors, it became an urgent need to take this website, turn it into a much more functional online store, and something that they were proud to send their customers to and have them start shopping on. So you can see a screenshot of their homepage here where they're selling pet accessories and products and toys and things like that. And really, it's something that they are proud to promote. And I think it turned out fantastic. The next example is La Vida Fashions, which they're also Toronto-based, and they are an independent women's clothing store that just recently transitioned to selling their pieces online. What they're selling is clothing that's focused on body positivity, and so I think it's great that they also took the opportunity to add a blog component to their new online store, which you can see in the header of the store there in the screenshot. If you're one to like creating content, I think it's an awesome addition to building out your online presence. It can help improve things like your search engine optimization and how you appear in search results. It can also be an additional piece to include in any part of your marketing strategy and help you get traffic to your new online store. Let them know more about the products, about your brand, about yourself, and all of that. Next example here is Okanagan Soaps, which is a handcrafted all-natural soap company that used to sell a lot of their products in places like one-of-a-kind markets or in local retail distributors. And so now that a lot of those events aren't really happening and some of those Main Street distributors have had to close down or are just seeing less foot traffic, this business owner has taken the opportunity to build out her own online store where she has complete ownership of selling all of her different products and collections of these handcrafted soaps. And one thing that I love that we've set up on her online store is an integration with her social media channels. So in real time, a lot of her actually all of her Instagram content is actually synchronized over to her new online store. So you can see what the business is up to and connect with her on social at a quick link. And it also works the other way. If you're visiting her social channels, they would direct to her new online store. I'll just call out from her testimonial here. She highlights how easy it was to get her online store set up. She was able to let us know what her inventory was to sort of get things started. Then we found a system to put in place to keep it manageable and updated on the online store. And now she's able to ship out to customers to a much wider audience, both geographically and, of course, online, a bit more of a diverse audience as well. And so that's been really exciting for this business. Okay, so having shared some of the importance of why it's a better time than ever to get online, a few more details of the experience that businesses can expect in participating in the program, and having seen some hopefully inspiring examples of past ShopHERE graduates, either from the Halifax partnership or from the other ShopHERE participants, you might be wondering what's next. So you can sign up online. I've actually included a link here, but I'm realizing that you would do so through the Halifax partnership, so please ignore that link. If you do sign up there, I'd be connecting you back with the Halifax partnership team anyway, so they would be the best point of contact for getting started. I'd encourage you to share the ShopHERE story that we've shared with you today with other businesses that you know, either a favorite Main Street business or a friend or family member that has a business who could benefit from an online store. If you're curious to check out Digital Main Street, I'll share and more about the programs and what we're up to. I'll share a link to our socials on the next slide. And if you're curious to see more success stories, we're publishing more on our blog, on our website every single week. And so you can look for success stories from businesses in your industry, and hopefully soon in your region. We'll have those online soon as well. So with that, I will put up some links to our social media channels and the ShopHERE team's inbox. But of course, your best point of contact will continue to be the Halifax partnership team as well. So I'd like to invite anyone to ask questions that they may have at this time.
So we do have a few questions. I will start with, there's one for Jason. Someone asked to clarify, this program is open to both businesses selling services or products, correct?
So this program is designed to help businesses with widgets to sell online. So manufacturing companies and retailers that are looking to sell products. We're not currently, or unfortunately, the program isn't really designed to help support pre-sales or service sales at this time.
Thanks. Next question is for Emileah.
So, just before we continue on, I did want to mention we do have another program called Access Local, which might be better suited to help support service businesses. And that program is really designed to help promote those businesses to local consumers that are looking to buy local. So connect with anybody on the Halifax partnership team to get more information about that program if you feel it might be beneficial.
Yeah, that's a good point. Thanks. So for Emileah, someone asked, where do the e-commerce coordinators come from?
That's a great question. So one part of the program that we're really proud of is that on the back end, building all the stores, those e-commerce coordinators are primarily youth, so recent graduates of business and digital marketing programs. And we currently have 240 of them building stores for all the businesses that we're supporting. So that's I guess where they come from.
Thanks. Another question for you, Emileah. Will the e-commerce coordinator help with logo creation?
That's a great question. So they will likely be able to, depending on their design comfortability, I'll just say their expertise is really in building the e-commerce store. some of them may have more design experience and confidence in building a logo for you, but most commonly we would recommend some of the free tools or partners that we have that could support with generating a logo for you. So we could always start building your online store while you're in the process of getting that logo created if necessary.
Great. Next question is, will they help with SEO strategies or setting up campaigns to get traffic? I would direct that to you, Emileah.
Yeah, so we absolutely can. Once the store goes live, you have the opportunity to connect with a member of the Google team for a one-on-one expert support call, and they can support you with setting up your first Google ad campaign to get some of that traffic going to your new online store. Throughout the process of building the online store, we'll also take SEO best practices into consideration. So making sure that we have the best keywords integrated throughout the copy on your online store is something that we do. And with Google being one of the main partners of the program, we also have a ton of awesome small business resources for continued Google marketing success.
Awesome. Next question is for you, again, Emileah. How long is their strategic planning and coaching available for?
So we don't necessarily have a cap on the length of time that we can support a business for, but really the goal is to get your store set up as quickly as we can. And then once it goes live, we'll have 3 marketing meetings to sort of wrap things up, make sure that you've got some marketing campaigns in place. You've been able to connect with a member of the Google team, if that makes sense. And then from there, we try and empower the business to take the leap and start managing the store on their own. We'll still be around to support if you need to come back for some follow-up questions, but the goal is to help the business learn how to sell online, make sure that they've got the infrastructure in place to do so, and then that they continue managing the store independently once they've graduated the program. There may be, Jason, I'm not sure if you can speak to this more, but there may be some local teams that could support with more continued type marketing or online resource support.
Yeah, there's definitely programs available that we can help businesses connect to, so we can follow up with those where appropriately.
Awesome. So next question is kind of a 2-part question. It says, what are the qualifications of the e-commerce coordinators? Can they customize the templates from Square or Shopify? Can they add in website functionality using code? Thanks.
No problem. So I would say that we typically do try and stick with the themes or templates that are offered through the platforms. There's a wide variety, so the stores do all end up looking quite unique, which is great. We have some basic coding experience within the team. I'd say we try and lean away from custom developments, and one of the reasons we do that is because the clients that we're supporting wouldn't necessarily be able to change them back or make updates themselves if we start getting too fancy with the back end of the online stores. So we try and keep it fairly simple for that reason, and just focus on building the infrastructure to help them sell online. So with that said, if there's something that needs to be done to make the functionality work that much better, or there's a really important branding piece that the client wants to incorporate, our team will take a look at it and see what we can do to help.
Great, thanks. So I have a question for Jason. It says, how long will the program be available for?
That's a great question. The program is on a first-come, first-served basis. We are able to accommodate between 80 and 100 businesses. So once we reach our capacity, that will determine the end of the program.
Great. Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. So I have a question here for Emileah. Can you build an e-commerce website other than Shopify or Square?
At this time, our team we're just working with the partners that we have of the program, and so we're only supporting with stores on Shopify or Square. That may change, you know, in the future, in the new year perhaps, but at this time we're finding that Shopify and Square are able to support businesses across all of the industries. I will add to that just quickly that if you have an existing website on another platform, such as WordPress or I don't know, Wix or something like that, there may be an opportunity for us to provide support in either transitioning your existing website over to one of the platforms like Square, Shopify that we're working on, or if you have one that that you want to maintain but it's not shoppable, we might be able to add some code from Shopify's Lite option and make it shoppable with a buy button. But that would all be, I'd recommend you review sort of those options with an e-commerce coordinator, just so we can look at your specific situation and identify a project from there.
Great. I have another question here. Someone asked, can my import business be part of the program? Maybe Jason?
I can take that one. So if you're looking to sell the products that you're importing to customers locally or back internationally, absolutely. Otherwise, I'm not sure if the program will be a fit, but if you wanted to have a more detailed discussion about that after the fact, connect to me and we can have a conversation.
All right. Someone else asked, would part of the program be helping in the transfer of a business from one online model that's already set but poorly performing to Shopify or Square?
Yeah, we could absolutely, oh, sorry, I just jumped on it. I was just going to say we could absolutely help with that. That's kind of what I was trying to get at in my last answer. If you have an existing website, you're not happy with it, we can transfer it over to Shopify or Square and see what can be done to improve functionality and things like that.
Great. So someone else asked, how many sites can you build for one company through this program, Emileah?
There's actually, maybe I'll just defer to Jason to see if you guys have, if there's any restrictions around that.
Yeah, so it would be one site per company that we would be providing.
Great. Let me just see if there's any more. How do I interact with my e-commerce coordinator? Is it synchronous or asynchronous?
So we are setting up meetings virtually right now, which is a great way to engage with your e-commerce coordinator, and they're available during regular working hours. They would typically be taking the lead on booking all of the meetings for you, depending on what the next steps of the project are, and then also available to answer questions in between meetings via email as well.
Great. Another question is, after I apply, what are the next steps? So maybe Jason, you can explain a little bit about what happens on our side of things, and then Emileah, once we hand it over to the Digital Main Street team, maybe you can kind of explain a little bit of your side.
Sure.
Sorry, had to unmute. So the next steps on our side, so once we receive an application, we'll review it to make sure that the company meets the criteria that we've outlined. But sometimes that will take some back and forth to better understand the business and what you're trying to sell online. Once approved, then we'll connect you to Emileah's team, and they'll take over from that point.
And so once you've been approved and you're connected with our team, the e-commerce coordinators would send an email to get that first meeting booked right away. So you'd receive an email from them, you coordinate your availability, get something in the calendar, and then that first meeting is when you're going to talk about the scope of your project and what your goals are, and they'll get started on building the online store from there.
Great. So if anyone has any other questions, I encourage you to send them to Jason or me. I will add our information in the chat box. But I will hand it over to Jason for the rest of the webinar.
Perfect. So thank you to everyone who asked amazing questions. Those were actually really good. Now, without any further ado, we'd like to make the draw or announce the winner of the draw. And the lucky winner is Nicole Becca. So congratulations. We'll be in touch via email after this session. Before we go to, I'd like to say a very special thank you to Emileah for presenting the ShopHERE program today. We've learned so much, and I think, we see the opportunity that this program presents. Thank you as well to our partners at Digital Main Street and Google, and to our funders, the Atlantic Canada Opportunity Agency, whom this program wouldn't be available to businesses here in Halifax without their participation. And finally, thank you to all of you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to learn about the ShopHERE program. We believe more and more that this is a very important time for businesses to adopt digital technologies that can help them reach their existing clients, but also new clients. And don't forget, for information on how to apply, visit our website, so halifaxpartnership.com/ShopHERE. And I believe Janita put that link in the chat function or the chat field a little bit earlier on. Please don't hesitate to reach out to anybody on the Halifax Partnership team if you need more information or you'd like to have a conversation about the ShopHERE program or the suite of business support programs that we offer. And I'm assuming contact information for both myself and Janita are being posted in the chat function as well. Unfortunately, I can't see it. I trust that it's being put there. And we really look forward to seeing all of your applications. So thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.